Hello, everyone. Just wanted to take a few minutes here, run you through a few things. We do have on our website the videos that give you some basic information on how to import a loan, register a loan, things like that. I wanted to give you a little bit more information, some things that are, those videos are just videos, they don't say anything. And there is some things that you need to know when you're going to submit a loan to us. So this is what our website looks like when you are just accessing it from the web without logging in. You've got these headers across the top, the quick pricer, and your login. Once you log in, though, those headers aren't there at the top. So where did they go? They're over here. You should have a thing that says resources. Yours may look a little bit different than mine. So you're a broker, I'm not a broker, but there should be that resources tab. You get the rate sheet, loan programs, but those are available here as well on the resources tab, which will take you back to the page that looks like you haven't logged in, okay? But we are logged in. So, and you can actually access these without logging at all as well. You don't have to be logged in to see this. But so this resources section here, where we're at right now, has a lot of things that are kind of important. Um, some of them are just things that you expect to see there, but the branch approval request form or the portal user form, if you have any changes you want to submit, um, you want to add somebody, take somebody off, change their access level. This is the form you fill out, send it into portal admin. That's the person who sends your emails for your logins and everything. If you have a question, just let me know. I'll give you the address. This is a broker comp quick reference. It tells you the difference between borrower paid and lender paid, which is useful. Sometimes people have questions for that. But one of the things that's kind of important as far as submitting a loan to us, these loan status definitions. Um, we do have a turn time link that gives you our published turn times. Okay, but it's important to understand these loan status phases so you know what's going on. I'll tell you right now, you cannot lock a loan until your loan is in submitted status. Okay, submitted. So when you upload your 3.4 file, it's opened. When you select a program, it's registered. Once you select a program, it notifies me that a loan has been registered. I go in, double check that, hey, you know, it looks like there's a loan. Uh, if you didn't put in a credit report or anything or didn't put credit scores in there, sometimes it will still register the loan, but I can't move it forward because you don't have a credit report in there or whatever. So it will sit in registered status. But once I look at the loan and say, yep, looks good, I'll press a button, submit it over to this phase. This doc check phase, there's two phases here. Number one, they're going to check to make sure that you have all the documents that are required to submit the file into underwriting. So on our submission checklist form, if you don't have those items on the form, it's going to get kicked back from doc check. They're going to tell you, hey, you're missing these docs. So you forgot to put in any income docs and whatever. You're going to submit it into doc check. It's going to take them a couple hours, and then they're just going to kick it back and say, you're missing these documents. Can't move forward until you upload these missing documents. Once you upload the documents, it then goes back to me just like it's registered again. I go and check to make sure you have what you're supposed to have, and then I resubmit it to doc check. Then it takes them another few hours to make sure all the docs are in there. Then it goes to stage 2 of doc check, which is sort of a pre-underwrite. They make sure that the LTV, the DTI, and the credit score match for what program you've selected it. If for some reason it doesn't, let's say you didn't notice that you've got two mortgage lates on your credit report and you submitted it for Rainier, which is 0 by 30 by 24, the second level doc check will catch that and tell you it's not eligible. You got to pick a different program. Then you got to flip it over, send it back to doc check to do this all over again. So Point is, it's really important if you want your loan to move forward past doc check quickly and into submitted status, you need to make sure it's a clean, complete file. I've seen it take as much as 2 days um, for loans to get past doc check status. So you cannot lock your loan until it moves over to submitted status. This is when you're able to actually lock your loan. So the more complete and thorough your initial credit submission is, the faster it'll get past doc check and you'll be able to lock it, which can be very important for some people. If you're rate sensitive, you need to lock it now, not 2 days from now. You'll want to make sure you submit a complete package. So just wanted to, that was one of the big key points I wanted to share with you. Um, these are the other forms: purchase contact form if it's a purchase. Here's your reconsideration of value request form. If your appraisal comes in, you don't like it, call me before you submit that because there's some important information. These are disclosures that we may need. This is the next thing, as I mentioned, in the doc check status, here's your checklists, okay? You don't necessarily have to have the checklist in the file, but you need to have whatever relevant documents are in this checklist in your file for it to pass doc check. If you don't have it and you're missing any of the documents, doc check is going to kick it back till you upload them. So very important that you look at this, make sure you have what you need from the checklist so it doesn't get delayed in doc check status. Teton has its own checklist. Olympic Second Mortgage has its own separate checklist. These are the user videos that I was telling about. They're very useful, but short and direct. The other big thing I wanted to touch on was this Instant LE. Um, the Instant LE is as it describes. It will, after your loan is registered and in doc check status, it will ask you if you want to do the Instant LE. Um, you'll also get an email from Trish Ponce, my account manager, suggesting you use Instant LE and to contact her if you need any assistance. I strongly encourage you to use the Instant LE because if you don't use this, or if you say, hey, skip the Instant LE, then you have to use the traditional disclosure method, in which case you'll have to fill out all the fees, submit the fee form to the disclosure team. It generally takes 24 hours, but it depends on when you submit it. So if I've had someone, if they submitted it Thursday evening, so it didn't actually get in line for the queue to get done until Friday morning, and it was running 24 to 48 hours, so it wasn't gonna those weren't gonna go out until Monday. So if you're sensitive on getting the disclosures to your borrower quickly, you'll want to do the Instant LE. If you get hung up, here's the guides, the videos, and you can contact Trish Ponce when she sends the email to you. Contact her and have her walk you through it. Otherwise, 24, possibly 48 hours before you get your disclosures. This here is our white label marketing section. So we've got our flyers here. Very useful. You come here, open it up. You can put your headshot there or whatever kind of JPEG you want to put. Fill in your name. Over here, company logo. Over here, whatever required data you have to put for your state regulatory stuff. Um, close this. The only other thing I wanted to show you was down here at the bottom of this resources tab is your closing protection letter, loss payee clause, insurance loss for, we don't do agency loans right now for the foreseeable future. So second mortgages, insurance goes here. First mortgages, insurance goes here. Um, Also, if you were looking for our fee sheet or what our fees are, they're here in the rate sheet. You'll request it to sign up for it. But really quickly, I'm going to, oh, I don't have a rate sheet on this computer. Um, but once you're signed up for rates, the top left-hand corner of the rate sheet, I also send them out on Fridays. The top left-hand corner is going to show you our fees. So that's where you get our fees. That's what I wanted to go over today. I'll do a separate video for pricing so that this doesn't go on forever. But so those were some important things. The last thing was these turn times. So if you were here on resources page, again, these links on the top, there's turn times. These are our turn times from submitted status, not from registration status. So that's why I wanted to go over those distinctions between registered, doc check, and submitted. Submitted is when you can lock your loan, and this is how long our turn times are once the loan is submitted. So hopefully this information helps clear up any sort of gaps in information, helps prevent any frustration with why is it taking so long or what happens next. So thank you again for signing up with Newfi. Hope this information was useful and looking forward to working with you. Take care. Have a great day.